What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Now, as you can see, a very different type of video, and that is being my first experience going to a anime convention. This was in Arkansas, up in Fayetteville. It was done in a hotel, which was pretty cool and different. And I looked online at other conventions, and it seems like majority of them always do them at a hotel, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to be having timestamps for this. We're in different sections, so you can see like cosplayers, vendors, and the voice actors, stuff like that. So you can just kind of navigate through it if you want to see certain parts and whatnot. But this first picture right here, this was like the highlight for me. These were the first three people that I took a picture of. And what really drew me to them was like the red and black immediately, because red and black are my two favorite colors. And whenever we first got to the convention, as we were getting our passes, I saw them in the distance, and like I said, that red and black caught my attention, but also the parasol, because I believe it has spider lilies on them or licorice flowers on them, and that's my favorite flower. So I was already sold already. So I went up to them, asked them, if I could take a picture, let them know that this was my first event I was attending, and they were really cool. And the guy that's or the person that's cosplaying as a One Piece character, the person on the right, I believe that's Sanji from One Piece. I don't watch One Piece, so I don't really know some of them. But my mom really enjoyed how, like, every time we saw them, he always had the cigarette in his mouth, like, the whole time. So she really enjoyed that. And since I asked them for permission to, post this, I also ended up getting their Instagrams. So if you want to, you can go follow their Instagrams and see other stuff that they do, and, just appreciate all the work that they did, because some of these people, like the person in the middle with the red and black, um, they, I think they did it as well. But I know one of the cosplayers. The event lasted from Friday to Sunday, and there's people who had a different cosplay each day. So I know one of them, they cosplayed as Blair from Soul Eater, and then the next day they cosplayed as Tengen from Demon Slayer. So a whole lot of work and effort put into it, which is really amazing. A lot of talented people at the event. So it was really cool to see, and they were really nice. So for the next picture that I ended up taking, this is the one with Blair from Soul Eater on the left, and then on the right, Jinx from League of Legends. Again, fun to be around as well. I remember I talked with the cosplayer for Soul Eater. How I wish they would reboot it, because it really needs a reboot to actually follow the manga entirely, since it's so good. And how like Tokyo Ghoul needs to do the same thing and everything. So they were nice to talk to. And then I saw like later on they had a picture where they were still in the Blair cosplay, and then they were holding Rebecca's shotgun from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. So that was really funny to see. And then for the Jinx cosplayer, in that middle picture right there, for their little Instagram link that I put, the person who's cosplaying as Dobby, I think that's the character's name. My mom really enjoyed that cosplay too, because the purple with it, and like the cutoff point for the purple. So they put a lot of detail up into that cosplay too, which was really cool to see. I don't know if it was like some kind of clothing that they kind of colored or something, and it just made it look like it cut off. I don't know how they did it, but it looked really cool. Then next we have these three, and I remember we were outside, and I looked into the distance and I saw the person in the knight armor, and the other person right next to them in the middle. They were walking into the convention, and like the little chainmail you see that they're wearing, they made that, which took took them a long time. That's a lot of dedication and talent. And I then later saw them up in the convention and had to get a picture because that knight armor was amazing to see. And as I took their picture and got their links, the guy right here, he put his link, and as far as I could tell, whenever I searched it, the way he put it into my phone, I didn't get any results. And so then I decided to take off one of the L's in Fairy Tale, thinking maybe he just, um, you know, accidentally put an extra one. And then I got maybe like 5 results that popped up, but I don't know if any of them were his account. So if by some miracle he sees this or anything, let me know. Or if anybody else who was at the convention knows, let me know. If they got his social, I would definitely like to know so I can properly, put it out there. And it could be he was just one of those accounts that just didn't have, you know, actual pictures of himself or something like that, which is fine. But I would definitely like to get it correct. So if anybody knows or whatever, let me know. Now here we start getting into the vendors, and this was one of the booths that I saw. They had these, I believe these right here are stickers, which are pretty cool. Got some Splatoon right there, some Undertale, some Danganronpa. I think that's a Chainsaw Man I see a little bit of. Then we got keychains. There were so many keychain and pin vendors there. I was tempted to really get a bunch of keychains. They look so good. Like, I don't know how they really do this. I don't know if they design the picture and then they kind of print it out and then they somehow, I guess, press it into an acrylic type of thing. I don't know how this process goes into making it, but the amount of these that they have, it's definitely a lot of work. And then here you have stickers, which I didn't notice until just like putting this video together, that on the right side in the second row at the very end, there's a hollow sticker from Spice and Wolf. If if I would have noticed that as I was there, I probably would have gotten it. That would have been the first sticker I would have gotten there, because I didn't get any stickers or keychains or nothing like that. Then here we have a vendor for artwork, really nice art. And if you see towards the top, there's a character in a red outfit and then a character in that white outfit. That, from the first picture of those first 3 cosplayers that I showed, that's 2 of the characters that they were cosplaying, which is really cool. I noticed that also as I was just putting this video together. And then right here we got some more little artwork. I think some of these were kind of the artists themselves inserted a little bit, or like their own little kind of avatar inserted, because like you see that one with the Rowlet. I think that's, I don't know if that's actually a Pokemon trainer or what, but that's what I'm assuming at least. Then you got some other ones right here, some Undertale, Animal Crossing, and all that. Then another one, I was tempted over on the far left, the Hell's Paradise and Tokyo Ghoul. I was really tempted for that. At the very top, right above the Tokyo Ghoul one, it's a black and white one. I can't tell what that's from. I was thinking it was Dead Man Wonderland, but I don't think it is. And then the Hatsune Miku towards the bottom, that one I really liked as well. Now this vendor was really cool too. I don't know how you make these or what they're made out of, but they had pixel art of characters. Was tempted to get one of these as well. I think one of the characters I saw immediately in that first row at the top was I can't remember her name. I want to say it starts with the F maybe or whatever, but from Samurai Champloo. She's the main girl in Samurai Champloo. I believe that's that character. But really, really cool designs. And if anybody knows what these are made of or whatever, let me know because I'm curious. This seems like it'd be really fun to do if you can. Then we have another vendor with a bunch of keychain and pins, and it's a lot of pins, a lot of them. And then they had some stickers as well on top of keychains. The Has Been Hotel stickers. I was tempted for a little bit more of them as well, and those are some Hell of a Boss ones I see down there too. Which Luna being my favorite from it, and also Cherry Bomb. Cherry, I think that's her name, Cherry Bomb, which she's in Hell of a Boss as well. So, or Has Been Hotel. So she's another one of my favorite from that. Then this vendor, they had a really cool, design thing with the acrylic stands. They would take um, like important, memorable scenes from the anime and turn it into an acrylic stand, which was really cool to see. And then another keychain galore. They had one with the little Game Boy. Pick your little game and then pick the console for it. Pretty cool. And then a bunch of these keychains as well. I'll probably zoom in on some of these pictures so you can see the things better, because even as I'm editing this, it's hard for me to even see it just in the video editor. So I will blow up these images so you can see them. And then right here, this is inside the hotel, so inside the convention, bottom floor right here. That whenever you walk into, this is kind of the first area you'll be at, which is the where the vendors are. Some of the vendors for like art, the keychains and stuff. And then this is the other side of it right there. As you can see, the night cosplayers right there as well. So on that right side there, that's where one of the vendors were up in the previous pictures. I think with the Has Been Hotel stickers and stuff like that, the keychains. So that's where they were stationed. And then I saw these two pop up, had to get a picture, and you can kind of barely see it, but on the cosplayer's back for Tanjiro, they have the little box that Nezuko is in, which was kind of cool. And then over here, this was the other vendor area, and also where they had the 4 voice actors that were here at the convention. So right here on the right, where this guy is, there was actually some swords that they were selling here. Like, I believe they were real. I don't know if they were sharpened or not though, which was kind of weird considering you weren't supposed to have weapons here. In these little plastic containers, they also had some posters from animes and stuff, which I was tempted to get one of the Soul Eater posters there, but I didn't. And then over on the left side, those were some like jewelry type of stuff, some of the Japanese hairpins that the vendors made themselves, which was really cool and everything. I know there was a place with some gemstones and all that. Really cool stuff. Then this was the right side. The vendor that has this, he had a really big booth right here. Just a bunch of Japanese products. I know there's a bunch of Gundam figures. Way back in the right in that corner, there's a vendor for tumblers. So you can, put your drink in or whatever. And they take like images of characters, or they take images from manga and they put them in a tumbler that you can carry around. And my mom has one of Nezuko that she got from them before, because my sister went to one of these and she got it for my mom. And they run a little Instagram as well, which I have linked to, and it was really cool to see. I was tempted to get a Ichigo tumbler that was there, but I didn't. And then there was a guy in the far left, past this big booth that you see right here on the left, which I didn't get a picture of. He was selling a bunch of like old video games, I think some movies maybe too. And he had a Pokemon Crystal like in the box still. Selling that for 750, I believe, which was that was really interesting to see. Was not expecting that at all, but that was really interesting to see in some of the other little games that he had. The old Pokemon games, they really took me back. It was nice. And then here, these are 3 posters that I bought there from one of the vendors. You could buy 2 and get 1 free. So this one right here of Joker from Persona 5, this is the one that I got for free. And then this one of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess with Link in his wolf form and Midna in her full form. This is one I bought. I had to immediately when I saw this. They had me sold. But the other one that they had really had me sold, and that was Hollow from Spice and Wolf. This is some amazing artwork of Hollow, and the Twilight Princess one was good too. So these two they immediately had me sold to get. So that was the three pieces of art that I bought there. Later on during the day, they had a cosplay contest. This is one of them right here, which, if I had to guess, I think this is Venti from Genshin Impact. I'm most likely wrong, and if I am, the only other guess I can think of is maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! So, if anybody knows, let me know what this is, because I don't know what it is, and it looks cool. This was the people that were in there during that time. I recognize some of them, like the Knight. She's there as well. Um, there was a Death Note, two Death Note cosplayers that I remember seeing. A Dunadon cosplayer. Um, a Taiga cosplayer from Toradora. And then I think right there and close to the front row is a Aqua cosplayer. So it was a lot of people because when I originally went in that room, um, they had the voice actors on stage talking about stuff and everything. And then that very back there, they have like a little concession stand with a bunch of Japanese candies and stuff, ramune. Ramune is pretty good. It's like the original flavor is like a Sprite, but slightly different. So I tried the regular flavor. I tried the peach flavor, which was nice. They had peach flavor gummies, kiwi flavor gummies, which were good. These little panda type of cookies with caramel filling in them was good. Really, really good candies all around. And this was on stage. The people who got stuff. The Alistair cosplayer I remember seeing. The Blair cosplayer is up there. Um, and then there's three girls right there with the green hair. And we talked to them and we were wondering how did they craft that? And it's actually made out of weather stripping. That's what they use to make the hair, do all those crazy forms and stuff. So that was cool. And then the Skull Kid cosplayer from Legend of Zelda, we talked to him a bit. He was cool as well. And yeah, he was really cool to see for that. And then I think that's a Cubone cosplayer at the far right. Um, so yeah, those were I think the winners. I don't know if there was more or if that was it for the winners of the cosplay contest, but yeah, which I didn't get to see this because we left before that. So then here's some links to some of the vendors. I believe this one is for that pixel art, um, the pixel art figures that I showed earlier. And then here, I can't remember if this was the one that had the Hasbin Hotel stickers and keychains and stuff. But if you're interested, you can check these people out. I don't know how far they will ship or anything, but if you just want to check out their stuff, you can. And then this was the vendor, I think in the very first picture I showed for the vendors, with the sticker and stuff of the Splatoon and Danganronpa and Undertale. And here's some of their Instagram links as well. Pew Pew Studio, I believe this is the one I got that art from. With then some other little things I saw there. I don't have a picture of them, but I did pick up a bunch of business cards there so I could show them, so you can check them out. So this is KC Idol Festival. Then we have Shiny Dreamers. And here's the one for the tumblers that I mentioned before. Here is their Instagram. And then last we have the cosplayers that, I mean, not the cosplayers, the voice actors that were there. So they had Brian Massey, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Really cool guy, man. It was so fun to talk to him. And when I first went over to his booth, as soon as he talked, I recognized his voice. And then I looked down on the table because they have a table in front of them that has little pieces of art and whatnot, that you can get and they can sign. And immediately it caught my eye that he had a little, picture of right there of his character from My Bride is a Mermaid. And I was honestly kind of surprised that he even had that on his table because My Bride's a Mermaid is kind of an obscure, it's a niche show. So not many people know about it unless you were around that time or you're into the, oldie type of anime. And this was one of my favorite ones. I watched this very early on during my like anime watching stuff. So it was one of my favorites, and I didn't even realize that he voiced that, you know. So that was cool to see. It was cool to talk to him. Um, he's originally from Detroit, I believe he mentioned, and he lives out in Texas. But it was really cool to see him there, and he was surprised that I, asked for that Bride as a Mermaid because I think he said I was the very first cell he had for it. And each voice actor I went to get a sign from, I told them this is probably something that you've never heard, anybody ask before. Because usually they ask, who do you want me to sign this to, or what's your name? And I told them, put you. And they kind of, looked at me, confused. And I was like, they're like, what do you mean? And I said, put yourself. And then I started thinking, I was like, it still doesn't sound right. So then I said, put an extension of yourself. So for Brian, he put the extension of Shark Fujishiro. And he put, thank you very much. I'm going to eat you, Nagasumi. Shark? Brian Massey? So it was really cool. And he got such a kick out of it too because I asked for it. And he actually took a picture of this and sent it to Todd, the voice actor for Nagasumi in that show, which Nagasumi is the main character in that. And Shark Fujishiro is always trying to eat him. And he actually sent that to him. So I'm curious as to how that went, how that conversation went. But it was really cool. Very fun to talk to him and everything. Took a picture with him. Very nice guy. So if you ever get the chance, definitely go meet him. Then next we have Amanda Gish. And I mainly know her from a little bit of Kakaguri from up there, Goblin Slayer, and then Inara, the character in the very top right from Paladins, the video game. I mainly know her from that, and cool thing about her little setup was she had this picture from My Hero Academia, and she had a Dragon Ball character, which is that cat girl, which I never even knew Dragon Ball had a cat girl up in it, but cool. And then she had the Goblin Slayer mage, and so I got the picture with the Mushroom Girl from My Hero Academia. And she also had these little coasters like that you can put your drinks on. That was really cool to see. And whenever I told her to put an extension of yourself, she wrote, be uniquely you. So she was fun to talk to as well. Now, this one that I saw was Marissa Linty. And from the picture of like the roles that she has, I know her from Borderlands 3. I know her from Gamers. And then at her booth, she had pictures and stuff. She actually voiced in one of the death battles on the Death Battle YouTube channel. I think it was with Bayonetta and some other character they were having a death battle. But she actually voiced in that, which I didn't even know. And also another thing about Brian Massey that I want to mention that I forgot was he's in some movies and shows too. One of the movies he was in back in 2010 was Drive Angry or Angry Drive, something like that. And he was a police officer up in that, which is cool. But for Marissa, one of the characters I didn't realize till I looked at her roles that she voiced was actually Nihilister from Goddess of Victory Nikke. So I was looking at her booth and I was looking to see if she had like a little Nihilister card or poster, and sadly she didn't. Sold out of them. And so then I saw this card too, and I didn't even know she voiced this character, the jail warden and the little cat. And for her extension of yourself that I asked for, she put Jugo and Uno should have kissed. Not gonna lie, so that was funny. I love how with her signature too, she put the little cat paw for the character as well. And what kind of surprised me a little bit whenever I got back home and was thinking about it, I'm kind of surprised some of these, um, she remembered this character and the character names like Jugo and Uno because I don't know when she voice acted for that. I know the show Nanbaka or The Numbers in English. It's fairly old-ish, and considering how many roles these voice actors do and everything, I would imagine they would forget. But it was cool to see she remembered. So really cool and fun to talk to. She ended up giving a little business card that she has where you can visit her website and stuff. And if you want to order some stuff from her that she can sign too, you can do that. I will probably order a Nihilister thing from her so she can sign it as well, because that's one thing I wanted. So I'll definitely give that a check. And then for the final voice actor they had there was Sean Gone. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but I know him from a few of his little roles, mainly from Nichijou and stuff like that. And when I got to his booth, I didn't even realize till I looked at it. They all had like a little banner that showed the characters and stuff they voice acted in. And for his, it showed his little some voice acting roles, and it also showed that he was a director and caster. I didn't know that, and really, I was surprised because as one of his directing roles, he was directing in All You Sometimes Hides Your Feelings in Russian. So that was cool. Apothecary Diaries as well, and Kaiju number 8. So that was interesting to see. Talk to him, how is his work life, with voice acting and directing, and he said it's rough. All those hours you got put into the studio, then directing and casting, really rough. But he sounded very passionate about it and everything, which is very nice. Like all of them sound very passionate about the roles that they do, and just the way they do their voice acting and everything. So it was cool to see, and just how nice they are and everything. So it's a lot of work for them to really put in when you think about it. Remembering the lines, trying to fit into this character with how their personality is. And then like when they go to these conventions, if somebody asks them like, "Hey, you remember voice acting this character?" Like, "Oh, this was like, 10 years ago." Like it's amazing whenever they remember that, like Marissa, and then of course Brian, because literally Brian's role as Shark Fujishiro was back in 2010. Um, Whenever I looked at it, so really really cool. And yeah, that's it for the voice actors that they had there. Four of them, all really nice. And like I said, if you can end up, seeing them, or if you decide to go to an anime convention or something like that, and you see that they're there, hey, try to go give them a visit and talk to them. And yeah, that was it for the Arkansas Anime Festival. I believe they do this every year at the same location, so I may just go there again next year, and you might see another video and just see the amount of talent and work that these people put into, because these vendors and these cosplayers, it's some amazing work, very time consuming, and um, a very artistic approach to it as well, on top of the love that they have for that character. So with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. Didn't plan on it to be, this long, but when you're having fun talking about it like this and everything, it's it's worth it. So, with that being said, it's going to be it for this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.